Welcome to the studio, one of the biggest actors and comedians in the world.
Yeah, you'll know him for his roles in The 40-Year-Old Virgin, The Office, Evan Almighty. But for audiences a little younger, Steve Carell will be forever the voice of Despicable Me's Gru.
Now the world's softest supervillain and his minions are back for another big screen adventure. My boys can't wait. Take a look.
Gru, I need a word with you. Your family's lives are at stake.
What?
Maxime Ribal has escaped from prison.
I'm coming for my revenge, Gru. The most important part of a heist is being aware of potential danger. I trained myself. Intruders!
Thanks, Ron.
Here you go, Brittany.
I can't say my name is Brittany. That would be a lie.
Why can't you be more like your sister Edith? She lies all the time.
No, I don't.
See? See? She's lying right now. Beautifully, am I bad?
The star of Despicable Me 4, the voice of Gru, Steve Carell, is with us on the sofa. You two were mid-deep conversation during that clip.
Yes,
we were.
For sure, because my boys are like 6 and 8, Milo and James, so they are right in your sweet spot.
That is the pocket, yes.
I mean, literally, I don't think there's been more shows watched than Despicable Me.
We have listened to Despicable Me so many times in the car.
Yeah.
When the kids were little.
Yeah.
And you get to memorize, well, all sorts of animation. You get to memorize it as you're driving around.
For sure.
You hear it for hundreds of hours.
For
You
sure.
don't realize it.
But your kids actually did the thing where they went, yeah, Dad, that voice works.
That was it.
That was how it ended up, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's how I landed on The Voice. We went in, I did my first recording session. We played around with a bunch of different voices. I came home and I did a few for them, and they pointed to the one that I eventually used. They said, that's good. That's the fun one.
Well, that's the thing, because they're always so honest kids as well. So were they honest about the terrible ones too?
They are, yeah. Don't do that.
Were the terrible ones from different parts of the world? Because sort of Gru's sort of got that sort of strange Eastern European sort of...
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? Sort of. It's such a specific... yeah, no, I don't really remember what the other ones were.
Brit in there? Was an evil Brit?
There was never... No Brits are evil. They're all lovely. Right? There was not an evil Brit.
Right.
It was always sort of that semi-Slavic, Eastern European sounding thing. It's as if I flew over a huge swath of Europe and said, that's the accent.
That'll do it.
And then you had to do young Gru and Drew as well. Like, how do you keep them all in your head?
Well, you practice a little bit and like in the car on the way in, and then it's so loose when you're in the studio just playing around, and you're by yourself essentially. You're not with any of the other actors, and you have plenty of time to experiment, and you can make lots of mistakes.
Yeah.
And did the producers say, oh, Steve, I think you've got that a little bit wrong? I mean, he doesn't say it like that. He says it like this. Is there sort of, or is that sort of room for the development of how his accent is?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, everyone's sort of guiding each other, and you're always finding new things, and you're improvising. The writing is great, but you're always improvising new alternatives for lines. And the tricky thing is you don't hear any of the other dialogue, so you have to do lots of different versions to kind of sync up with whatever is going to be coming before and after.
So Will Ferrell's the sort of star of this one as well.
Oh, Will Ferrell.
I mean, what a stinker he is.
I can't believe they allowed him.
I mean, who invited... Do you know, he was on... I watched him on a TV show in America the other day, and he was saying you begged him to come and do that
I did
role.
kind of beg him to do it.
Did you beg him?
Hands and knees?
Well, I'll just say that. I threw it out there after the last one. You know, someone asked, who would be your perfect next villain? And I threw Will out as a potential choice. I didn't even ask him about it. I just kind of
manifested it.
Yeah, I did, exactly.
Yes.
So, and he did it. He jumped at the chance.
But you're not opposite each other in the booth. You don't play against each other.
No.
So you really Did they play a little bit of what Will's doing with the character so you bounce off it?
None of it. And I didn't even know what he sounded like until I saw it.
You didn't know he was going to be Zut alors, magnifique, le grand fromage?
I had no idea. I did not recognize his voice. I knew it was him, but I thought, is that him? Because it did not sound like him.
But the weirdest thing of all is Gru was supposed to be like the greatest villain in the world and has now turned into this like lovable family guy rogue.
Yeah.
And now in has come Feral to steal your crowd.
I know.
I mean, you need to, at least arm wrestle him or something.
Well, you don't see what's going on behind the scenes. It's pretty ugly.
I like the
He's
idea
so
of
funny in it.
you and Will finally get together after you've heard him, like for dinner or something, and then having a little voiceover off while you're having dinner to see what it's like in real life.
Yeah. No, we do that all the time. Actually, it was so much fun to do a lot of this press with him and with Kristen Wiig.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
because the three of us are friends and we've worked together before. But to get together and just have to be silly for a bunch of days in a row was such a treat.
Because, of course, when you're together, usually you're not being silly.
No.
Never.
Exactly.
Never
Exactly.
go
Such an anomaly.
One of the things that has been extraordinary about the Despicable Me franchise as it is now is the impact that that's had. And you will see, undoubtedly, Steve, Halloween, people getting dressed up as Despicable Me characters.
Yeah.
And then equally stag do's now as well. So the youngsters that are going on their stag do's, who were probably kids watching the first
14
film.
years ago.
14 years later.
Yeah.
I mean, we found some of these. I'm sure you've seen them, but we wanted to see what you thought of these. These are some of the clips that we found online of people trying to steal the moon. Here you go.
Sure.
Tonight, we steal the moon! Together, we will steal the moon! Tonight, we steal the moon!
Oh, I love that.
Have you seen them?
I love. Tonight, we steal the moon!
That was a stag do in Liverpool. So I know the thousands getting together.
I've never seen that
Have you not seen them?
No. Well, in the States, we had these things called gentle minions.
Right.
Which, same thing. Like, kids who are now teenagers who grew up with Despicable Me would all dress in their smartest outfits and go to see the movie. And it became sort of a viral thing back there. And my kids grew up with it, too.
Yeah,
you know, my kids are now 20 and 23. And they're of that generation that grew up with this. They were little kids when it started, and they've always sort of loved it. And not ironically either.
No.
They really love it.
And is there something about you guys being the stars of the movie, but really it's the minions that have become the superstars globally as well? You're being outshone by these little yellow, strange beings.
Thanks for throwing that in my face. I mean, I give it all to the minions. It's and in this one there are minions called Mega Minions.
Yes.
That are minions that have been given superpowers. And it just goes to show that no matter how powerful a minion is, they're still minions, and they're going to screw things up.
Yeah. Did you ever think when you first read the script how successful it would be? Because it's everything that comes with it after. It's like the games and the rides and the adventure parks.
Yeah.
And did you ever think, oh, this is for sure?
Well, of course not. I mean, we thought it would be good.
Yeah.
And I was really proud of that first movie, too, because it wasn't condescending towards kids.
Brilliant.
It was sort of edgy. It was a little scary. But just enough.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that there was a little subversiveness to it. But this sort of global phenomenon, no idea. I mean, it's lovely to be a part of something like this.
And it just exists and it's going to keep existing, which is so exciting.
Yeah,
we can't have you here, Steve, without talking about the morning show, which a lot of our viewers will have fallen in love with. Your character was quite extraordinary TV personality, gave you a little insight into doing a daily live TV show, which is our life, of course. I wonder how you reflect on the impact of the morning show and what that's been like.
It was interesting because, you know, and I've done morning talk shows in the States as well. And what was striking to me about doing that show was the set that they built felt absolutely realistic and authentic. Like right down to the way they cabled the wires into the control room. And it was, the set was like a freestanding control room, everything was like right there together. And so it could be used as when they do sort of one shot that follow people into different rooms. So that was striking. And I think the authenticity of the writing too, they had really done their research.
Yeah.
And they had a good bead on who these characters might be.
And the stories as well, of course.
Yeah.
Never a dull moment in live daily TV.
And they kind of pushed the boundaries too, in terms of the storylines and
did it give you a bit more of an insight into sort of what life is like when you're doing the interviewing and having to do all that sort of stuff?
I have such respect for you.
That's what I'm getting at.
I don't know how you do it. No,
He didn't until you mentioned the Minions and I mentioned Will Ferrell.
Tell us how great we are.
Thank you.
Let's just get to that.
Finally, we got there, Steve. That's what we're looking for.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
Will you please make loads more? Because I just want to keep watching them forever.
I would love to. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
Be
Great
brilliant.
stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.